Pete here, and I'm back for day 6 of the World Championships, bringing you all the action. Let's jump in and see what today had on offer. Because there was 4 matches today, lots of action, and the race to find who can make the top 8 is really heating up. Now, today I wanted to bring you a match from the top of the ladder battle, Switzerland versus USA 2. So this was a really tight fight between these two, but there's a couple of interesting boards that I really wanted to highlight. So the first one here, it went 1 club opening, and what would you choose with this West hand? So I think 3 hearts is a pretty routine decision here, and North elected to double, and East bid 4 hearts because they've got they know they've got a 10 card fit, so they're just raising the preempt here. They don't need a great hand to do so. And South doesn't really have anything else to add, and it goes back to North, who figured they would try 4 spades. At the other table, though, here, instead of 3 hearts, they put more pressure on, and they just jumped to 4 hearts straight away. So 1 club, 4 hearts. Now, does North just commit to bidding 4 spades themselves over this? No, they chose a double. It goes pass. Double is essentially takeout. But South has 6 clubs and still doesn't bid 5 clubs. And that just really highlights how much they don't try and get to the 5 level. The 5 level is a very dangerous place to play. So instead, even though their partner's making a takeout double, they're happy to defend and just try and beat 4 hearts, assuming the opponents don't have as much, enough tricks to actually make. Notice that 5 clubs doesn't look like it would be particularly successful here. 4 spades worked out well and made for 620. 4 hearts doubled, went 2 down for 500. So this was a 3 imp pickup to Switzerland. The next board that I wanted to highlight here. This is an interesting bidding problem, but then also the not successful play I thought was fascinating. So I really wanted to just walk you through that. So at this table, they had a bit of an interesting auction. So it went pass, pass, and North opened a heart, and South responded a no trump. And then North bids 2 clubs. This is artificial. It's a convention called Gazilli, and there's a few options that go into it. But essentially, they're basically saying, hey, partner, I might have an invitational hand. If I do, would you accept the invite? And the response, 2 diamonds, just says, yeah, I'd accept the invite. I've got 8 or more points. And then went double showing diamonds. And then North just said, yeah, I had an invitational hand with 6 hearts. South bid 3 spades, which looks like they're trying to get to 3 no trumps. If partner's got a diamond stopper, they're probably pretty worried about their 4 diamonds and the lead directing double, that maybe it's East that has the diamond shortage. Now, North does have a diamond stopper. It's a singleton ace, and they bid 3 no. Now, at the other table, more sort of straightforward auction, but 1 heart, 1 no trump, 2 spades. Now, they know they can't find a spade fit. East raised to 3 spades, and North just elected to play 4 hearts. Now, here, at the play at 4 hearts, this was reasonably straightforward. So, it went club, and they played it back, and now just took a heart finesse, which fails. They continue a club, and they keep drawing trumps. At this stage, they stop drawing trumps because East has the master trump, and there's only 1 left. There's no real reason to carry on, so they switch to spades. So here, they're happy to lose to the king of spades, but they're just trying to make sure they only lose 1 spade. So they lead low towards the queen. The king's here. And then they win the ace of diamonds. And now they just need to find the 10 of spades, essentially. So they get 1 extra trump. They're trying to see what discards people make. No one's discarding a spade. So now they just have to guess. So they play a spade to the jack. And do they finesse on the way back? No. They play for the 10 of spades to fall. And it does. And they make their 10 tricks. At the other table, though, the play in 3 no trumps. 3 no trumps is not great. Like the diamond layout with a singleton ace isn't good, but there's lots of inferences here, and I just wanted to talk you through why they played the way they did. So Here, I'll get to the play and then we'll rewind to the start and take a look. So here it went a spade and they won this. And at this stage, you might be thinking, yeah, let's take a heart finesse and see if we can build heart tricks. So they continued with the jack of spades instead, finessing, just using this entry while they're here. And then once that was done, instead of taking the heart finesse, which looks like the normal play, they just went ace of hearts and a low heart. Now, what they're hoping for is that there's a doubleton king of hearts here. Now, what could possibly make them want to do that? So let's rewind back to the start of the hand and just take a look at what you can work out from the option. So first of all, West here is not vulnerable and they passed. Okay, so these players are pretty aggressive, not vulnerable. They'll be opening their 11-point hands. The next thing is that they doubled 2 diamonds here. 2 diamonds was just artificial. And this says, partner, if you're on lead, please lead a diamond. And this probably is a good indication that they've got a decent diamond suit, something like king, queen. They've got some points in diamonds, essentially. And then we ended up in 3 no trumps. Now, if you count high card points here and use the inference that maybe this hand has king, queen of diamonds to double there, here spade lead, continues spades, and another spade. Now, at this stage, they're thinking, okay, 3 points for the king, 5 points in diamonds is 8, and if they had the king of hearts, that would bring them up to 11 points, and they would have opened at this stage. They didn't do that. So it looks like the king of hearts is offside. Now, if East has the king of hearts, the only thing I can do is hope that it's a doubleton king. So they go in and go ace of hearts and a heart. It's not the doubleton king, but they did place the king properly. And at this stage, they knock out the diamond. They cash their last trick there. And at this stage, they're just in on the club finesse, but the club finesse fails and they go down 1. So that was a big swing to USA 2, but I thought this was a really riveting hand for how they actually played there. Moving on to the next board that I wanted to talk about. Here, I don't know about the auction here, so not a lot to go on here. But here, I just wanted to highlight the lead here against 3 no trumps. So at one table, they lead a spade. At the other table, we got club, double, and they kept going. Their partner doubled 3 diamonds. So this double of 3 diamonds helps with the lead. And then we get a diamond lead instead. Now, a diamond lead's passive, but also what partner was asking for. So worked out pretty well here. But the spade lead, if I go back to the other table, spade lead, they get to win with the jack, and then they get 1 extra trick because they get their jack and they also get their king of spades after the spade continuation here. Now, at the other table, they get 1 fewer. The diamond lead doesn't give them that jack of spades trick. So diamond lead in with clubs. They kept going. They now switched to hearts. And the opponents ran all these clubs. And they untangled hearts. They're trying to see if the hearts break. Over to the ace of diamonds. And then they're like, okay, I've got 10 tricks. So this one was 1 imp based on the lead here. And 2 things. Firstly, the lead directing double helped here. Just telling partner, hey, I don't have much, but helping partner out with the lead is really, really relevant. Otherwise, you're in a bit of a blind guess. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that lead directing doubles can really help partner out. It looks like maybe South might have been able to do it, but it's not clear what this 3 diamond bid was, or there was no takeout double. So not obvious here, but making doubles to help partner with the lead when the opponents make artificial bids can really help out, get you tricks all over the place. So keep an eye out for the opportunities to make them. So here is the results. There were lots of flat boards, small swings here, 13-4, USA taking the 9 imp win, largely on that 3 no versus 4 heart board there. The other results that I wanted to look at is England had a big win over Argentina. Also, the race to get into 8th spot is really heating up. It's really, really close. Like the top 3 have pulled away a fair bit, but England has got a little bit of a buffer. But outside of that, this race to get into 8th spot is getting close, and you really want to keep an eye on that. So the important matches here that I thought were super relevant is this Israel versus USA 1. So Israel taking just a 18 imp win, but very, very handy imps when they're trying to catch USA 1 here and just close this gap just a bit. Also, we've got Norway versus Canada. So Norway's just in 7th, but they're trying to hang on. Losing to Canada sort of opens the doorway a bit for them. So not a bad loss, but not what they want at this time, as they want to just consolidate their position here. Italy just surging up still. They had a good win over China, Hong Kong. So they're trying to push themselves out of this sort of tight-knit race. And then Denmark had a, where are they? Denmark had a decent win over South Africa. So they're hanging on. And Australia versus Uruguay. Australia is doing their best to hang into their race and just keep their dream alive. So let's move on to round number 18 and take a look at there. All right, so for round number 18, I've got another sort of top of the battle challenge. We've got Netherlands versus USA 2. And this match, compared to the last one, was really swingy. There was some action here. So I picked up a few boards that were interesting. And here, this first one went pass, and South just opened 3 diamonds, pass. North's got this really strong hand, but just elected to bid 5 clubs here. And our 5 clubs made pretty conveniently. But I want to highlight that East passed at this table, favorable. And just look at the challenges doing it at the other table did. East opened 2 hearts on this hand. Went pass from South, and West raised that to 4 hearts. Now, this North hand has a very difficult problem. They could just bid 5 clubs, but you know, you might be making slam. You've also got this spade suit as well that you want to bring into the picture. So they made a pretty natural takeout double. And this went pass, and South with their 7 diamonds happily bid 5 diamonds, which wasn't what North was hoping to hear, but they then just gave 6 clubs a shot. Now, 6 clubs is just a slightly poor contract. Basically, when you're bidding slam, you want it to be 50% or better. So if it's on a finesse, that's like the break-even point. This one looks like it's on the spade finesse and also clubs breaking. So slightly poor, but I have been in far worse slams. And I think this is a very decent auction. And just noticing how preempting gets in the way here. So they lead the ace of hearts and heart continuation. They just draw trumps. They actually run more of their clubs just to see if they can get some discards. Ace of spades here. Back to the clubs. And now diamond over to the ace. And now they finesse the spade, but it's in the wrong hand. So they're down 1. So healthy swing to Netherlands there. At the next table I wanted to talk about, the next board. Here I went pass by South. 2 clubs, which was sort of a natural club suit. And North bid 2 hearts, 2 no, some sort of inquiry, 4 hearts, 4 no, 5 no, 6 clubs. And they get to 6 clubs, which makes pretty comfortably here. At the other table, North preempts 2 hearts immediately. They bid 3 clubs, 5 hearts from North straight away, taking away the maximum room. It would be very easy just for them to bid 4 hearts, but they're trying to preempt as high as they can straight away, not bid 4 hearts and then 5 hearts and do it like that. They just want to take away as much room as possible. And now East bid 6 clubs pretty happily. And South breaks all the rules. You know the rules that when you preempt, you don't bid again? Well, they did it. They preempted and they bid again. I think they're basically saying, I don't have any defense here, partner, and we're not vulnerable against vulnerable. So 6 hearts, pass, and East with this great hand chose to bid 7 clubs. What I wanted to highlight here is this pass over 6 hearts. So East-West know it is their hand, but they're trying to work out, should they double 6 hearts or should they bid on? Now, this pass here usually says, partner, I have first round control in the opponent's suit. If you want to bid 7, I'm okay with that. So they're basically highlighting that they have a void heart with this pass. If they didn't have first round control, they would double here to say, I don't have first round control. Let's not try for a 7. Now, East has a bit extra, but unfortunately the opponents are off the ace of diamonds, which, because of all this high-level preempting, was really hard to diagnose. They could diagnose that they've got good clubs, they've got good hands, but they don't actually have the ace of diamonds here. So they get doubled, and the ace of diamonds gets led for another big swing to Netherlands. The next board that I wanted to highlight here is if you thought you needed really scientific auctions to bid slams, let alone grand slams, I wanted to highlight this one for you. 2 clubs, 2 hearts, which looks like maybe it's a positive with spades, and South said, sure, let's play 7 no trumps. At the other table, here, they actually went the extremely scientific approach. They started with 1 club, which was strong. And yeah, I don't have definitions for all these bids, but they chose to bid 7 diamonds Grand Slam. Now, let's go back to this first table. Grand Slam has 13 tricks. The main issue here is making sure that you don't lose to this Jack of Spades here. Now, here, West led a spade, and North puts in the 10 of spades, and East doesn't play the Jack, and they would never be playing the Jack here, even if they had it. Now, unfortunately, South doesn't have any outside entries to the North hand. If they had the 10 of diamonds or something, they would just effectively be claiming this hand for 13 tricks. But here they win, and they just take their diamond, and now just play a spade back to the king. And when this hand shows out, they've got some issues. They try a heart finesse, but that one fails, and they're down. If the spades broke, they had an easy make there. If they had another entry, they had an easy make here. But at the other table, 7 diamonds more or less has the same issue. So again, you got 13 tricks, but entries to this North hand are very difficult, and basically you need to not lose to this Jack of Spades to be able to make your Grand Slam. So here's how that hand got played. You got a diamond lead. They won. They drew trumps. Okay. And now they played ace of spades. They played one more round of trumps and played a spade to the 9. And they finessed. Now, I don't actually know why they did this. I can give you a few reasons, but I think one of the main reasons is this is why they're at this event and I'm not. But a couple of things that I've got here is firstly, West's choice of lead. They chose to lead a trump against a Grand Slam, which is relatively normal, but it was a singleton diamond. And maybe if they just had absolutely nothing in spades, they might have chosen to lead a spade instead. So one reason is their choice of lead. The other reason that I've got is that the East hand actually had length in diamonds. So the diamonds were splitting 4-1. So you know that if East has more diamonds, then maybe West has more spades. To me, that neither of those seems strong enough to finesse. So I'm trying to work out if I missed something else here. But that was like, what do you reckon their reasons are for doing it? Is there something else I'm missing here? West didn't discard any spades. But I can't imagine that they would anyway. Also, they didn't give East a chance to discard spades. But another reason might be like what signals they play. But when it's very rare you would trust the opponent's signals in a Grand Slam because they have very little reason to try and signal honestly. So here, I reckon whatever they chose, they managed to do remarkably well finessing that Jack of Spades and bringing home that Grand Slam there. So here's the result. The Netherlands had a huge win, 76-22, and there was even more slam action throughout this event. This match was very, very swingy there, but big win to Netherlands. So let's take a look at all the results. So here, South Africa had a massive win over Argentina. Israel also had a really good win over Egypt, and this is still great for the race for 8th here. USA won. Big win, 125-12. That's the first time I think I've seen triple digits this event in the imp column. So, as I said, really swingy set of boards there. Also, just for the race for 8th, Denmark had a loss to India. This is sort of hurting their chances, really not what they wanted there. Not a devastating loss, but an awkward one. Italy, good win over Australia, so really dampening Australia's chances and consolidating Italy's chances there. So yeah, those were the main results from round number 18. Let's move into round number 19. So for round number 19, I've got an interesting match between Italy and Sweden. So the first board I wanted to bring you is this one where we had one club, one heart, two no, looking like 18-19 balanced. North's 3 diamonds here is essentially checking for 5-3 heart fit. And South says I don't have a fit there. And just being a bit careful in the play with entries is interesting. So here, the opponent's lead a diamond, and it looks like you've got 2 spade winners, 2 spades, 2 diamonds, and a club for 5 winners. And you need to get 4 more tricks. And the hearts, they're 3-3, but you don't actually have an entry to this north hand when the opponent's duck the first round. But you can get 1 heart trick and then switch tunes. So here they lead a heart to the king, and the opponents have to duck it because the hearts are 3-3. And now you can switch to clubs and hope that the clubs behave and you can get 4 club tricks. Now look, careful attention to the pips here. We've got the 8 over here, Jack 10, 7, and this Queen 9's good news. So here they lead a club towards the 10. They win. They keep going with diamonds. And now when you play the ace of clubs and you see the 9 fall, you can just force out one more club, and this 7's going to be high for extra tricks, and 3 no trumps comes home. At the other table, I feel like they underdid it just a little bit. So here it went 1 club, 1 diamond, transfer showing 4 or more hearts. South said I either have a natural reverse or I have long clubs, and North just rebid 2 hearts. Now, I feel like South is worthy of another bid. They've got 19 points, good aces and kings. So I feel like maybe they could have bid once more and maybe pushed on to game. But they subsided in 2 hearts, which happened to be a healthy swing to Italy here. The next board I wanted to talk about, this one's more about just sort of interpreting the auction here. So both tables got to 5 diamonds. So here, there's the first auction, a heart past a spade, 2 diamonds, 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, 4 clubs, 4 diamonds, 5 clubs, 5 diamonds, pass, pass, double. The other table didn't get doubled, but here it went a heart, pass, pass, double, because they wanted to show a strong hand with diamonds. They bid 2 clubs. North got in there and bid 2 spades, 4 clubs, 4 diamonds, pass, 5 clubs, pass 5 diamonds. So what's the difference I'm really trying to get here is why didn't West double this auction, whereas they did double in the other table? Now, both tables went down to, and this is just the interpretation of whose hand really is it. So in this one, East had a pretty light hand, but decided to respond 1 spade. And then also supported clubs. So from West's perspective, he's having a semi-constructive auction to 5 clubs, and the opponents have bid over it. And North-South don't look that convinced that they can make 5 diamonds. They bid 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds, 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds, and it looks like they've been pushed into 5 diamonds. So here West has 2 aces. They're not totally sure that they're beating it, but their partners bid, and the opponents don't seem convinced that they're making. So you double them. Whereas if we go back to the other table, here East passed, and then I went double, North free bid 2 spades. South said they got a strong hand with diamonds. North said, hey, I've got a great hand for you with 5 clubs. And it looks like North-South are having this really constructive auction to 5 diamonds. So even though West has 2 aces, they don't have a good reason to be doubling here. So they just pass and defend 5 diamonds. So it's really just understanding the approach that people get to this and why some people double here. At one table, North-South looked like they were really trying to bid to 5 diamonds. And if we go back to the first table, it looks like they got pushed there. Now, both tables actually just started with the ace of hearts. And the main reason for this is partners not supported hearts. They've shown spades, they've shown clubs. So they're just hoping for a singleton heart. And they lead the ace of hearts. And whenever you suspect that your partner has a shortage, usually you want to give a suit preference signal. So here they lead the 9 of hearts, which says, partner, if you can trump this, come back to my hand with the higher ranking suit. So you ignore trumps, which would be diamonds. You ignore the suit you think they're out of, which is hearts. And they're basically saying, come back with a spade rather than a club. So here the 9 of hearts, they trump. And spade back to the ace, and they get 1 more trump here. And 9 tricks, and plus 300 instead of plus 100 because of the double. So just an interesting one for listening to the journey of the auction and which players actually think that they're making stuff. And when they don't sound like they're making it, then you get to double in these spots. The last board I wanted to talk about here is interesting bidding auction. So here East has a really strong hand. They've got 23 points, but they actually chose to open 1 club here. This wasn't a strong club. This was just sort of like standard 2 over 1. Pass, they opted to open a club. And with 23 points, why would they choose to open 1 club rather than 2 clubs? And this really comes down to sort of trying to plan out the auction. And when you've got a 2-suited hand like this, it can be quite difficult to show clubs and hearts. If you start with 2 clubs, you might bid 2 clubs and then bid 3 clubs, and you might lose the heart suit here. Whereas if you open 1 club, even with 23 points, it's unlikely the auction's going to get passed out, and you're usually better able to express your shape of the hand and try and catch up with the points later. So here they went pass, they opened a club. South bid a spade, spades got supported, and they started with a takeout double. South bid 3 diamonds, and now West, who has a pretty good hand for a hand that had passed. They've got an ace and 4 card support, volunteered 4 clubs. And now that their partner had volunteered, East was off to the races and bid all the way to 6 clubs. But 6 clubs isn't a great spot. You run into a 4-0 club break, which you don't know about, but you're off the king of diamonds and you're off a heart. So here, 6 clubs goes down. At the other table, 6 clubs actually went down too, but at the other table, they did opt for a 2 club opening. And it went 2 spades past 3 spades, and they made a takeout double. Their partner just bid 4 clubs, and because they've expressed their points, they were happy just to bid 5. So there's one where, are you trying to get the shape across, or are you trying to get your points across? And this one I think is pretty borderline, and you can see the 2 different approaches here. Fortunately, the opponent's intervening with spades really helps East actually express the shape of their hand and the points really well, so they don't need to push on as much. So they subside in 5 clubs. 5 clubs still isn't easy to make here. With the 4-0 club break, the diamond finesse losing, and the hearts. Here, they got the king of spades lead, and they test clubs and see that they don't break. Now, if they keep going with clubs, they're going to run into trouble by the opponents. Just keep playing spades. Now, here, what they actually opted for is a pretty unusual play. They just led the jack of diamonds here. And I think they were aware that if they draw trumps, they're going to have difficulties trying to even get 2 diamond tricks later in the hand. So they're just trying to sneak 1 diamond through, and that wins. And now they switch over to hearts, and they don't know if hearts are 3-3 or 4-2, but they can try trumping hearts at this stage. They play a heart, and South shows out. So now they know the hand that has the long hearts also has the trumps. So they win. They rough in and now can very safely trump that heart, no fear of being overruffed. And now they can go back to drawing trumps and finessing the clubs here. And here they get the queen of clubs. And if they'd more or less played the same line of play, but still had the jack of diamonds, that would be out of trumps and they're not able to set up diamonds. So there was a way for them to make without playing that jack of diamonds, but a little nifty trick to just get that one diamond trick in early and then go about trying to deal with those other tricks, because it was very hard for South to hop in with the king of diamonds there. So there are a few interesting boards from the Sweden-Italy match. All up, Italy won 23-13, so handy win for them. Let's check out all the results from that. So some of the big results here was USA versus Switzerland. USA won in the hunt for 8th, playing the top team, got a win. So this was a very important win for USA 1, really helps their chances of being in the top 8. Also, the Norway versus Hungary match. This one's very important for who, like Norway and Hungary were very close. Very handy win to Hungary, which means that they're reasonably safe here. They're probably pretty good in making the top 8, whereas Norway now has the fight on to keep their 8th spot, or if they can push up. Israel in the hunt for the 8th spot was playing India and had a small loss to India, which made it awkward for them. They were surging. They really wanted to keep their momentum, so this dampened their momentum a bit. Denmark, also in the hunt, had a nice win over Canada, keeping them nice and close. Australia were playing the leaders and had a big win, so they're just still holding on to their hope of climbing up into that 8th spot there. So fantastic result for Australia there. And then USA 2 versus New Zealand. USA 2, very sound win over New Zealand, which pushed them down, more or less ending New Zealand's chances to get into the top 8 there. Anyway, that were the rounds from round 19. Let's jump in and look at round 20. And now for the final match of the day, round 20. I've got a match between Hungary and USA 1. They're both in the top 8, and they're just sort of trying to consolidate their spot there. So this first board, South gets to open 1 spade, West hand passes, and the next hand bids 1 no trump. And now East comes in with 2 diamonds, South bids 2 hearts. And here, the interesting decision here is West's raise of partner's hand. They've got 9 points. They've got a fit for diamonds. Here, West chose to bid 2 spades, which says I got a good raise of diamonds. And it's usually 10 or more points. They are a hand that passed over 1 spade. So it's a little bit awkward there. But they chose 2 spades. And here, the East hand that has 14 high card points and a 6 card suit was like, yep, let's give 3 no trumps a shot. At the other table, it was nearly identical, except this West hand just chose 3 diamonds, just a more normal raise of diamonds. And it's hard to gauge how good this West hand actually is, because after South has bid 2 hearts, you'd be bidding 3 diamonds on a wide array of hands that just don't want to let them play in 2 hearts. So if this South hand had passed, you could bid 3 diamonds pretty much constructively here, but when South has bid, this 3 diamond bid's pretty wide ranging. So that's why I think that West opted to show the constructive raise rather than just bidding 3 diamonds there, and it encouraged partner to bid 3 no trumps. Now 3 no trumps came home comfortably after a spade lead. They just knocked out the ace of diamonds, and now they've got 5 diamond winners, 2 heart winners, the spade they've already got, and the ace of spades. So 3 no made comfortably. They even made extra tricks here. So they played diamonds, took all the diamonds, and here the hearts actually came in as well. And they made 12 tricks on the hand. So a good swing to USA here. The next board I want to look at is here. Both tables got to 4 spades. And there's a few little neat things in the play here that I wanted to break down. But firstly, just differences in auction here. 1 spade, 3 diamonds, 4 spades. The other table, they opted for a 1 no trump opening. They staymaned and they got to 4 spades here. Now, at the, we'll look at the other table. So here, they lead the king of diamonds. And now they go straight into hearts. And they're largely just trying to set this hand up over here. So they lead a heart towards the queen and North wins here. And now they go over to spades. They win with the ace, back over to hearts, and then just keep on setting this up. And they trump high and then use a low spade to get back over to the west hand and trump again. So now the hearts are all set up. This 8 of hearts is high and they've taken the top spade and they'll be able to get there. They play a club over to the king, which gets them there straight away. And they play a club back to the 10 and this works. At the other table, here the 1 no trump showing a balanced hand gave North 1 extra option here. So king of diamonds, same lead. And I went a heart towards the king and ducked. Now they know that East is a balanced hand and this can't be a singleton. In the first table, this could have been a singleton heart because they opened a spade. So it's a lot more dicey to duck with the ace here. The fact that it was a no trump opening gave them a lot more freedom to duck. So king of diamonds and a heart and they ducked. And this just makes the communication a little bit more awkward. So here they play a spade back already, and now they lead another heart and they win. Here they play a diamond and trump, and they keep going with hearts. They're off high, and they play a low spade over. And at this stage, with the bad split in spades, they're no longer sure that they can ruff a heart and get back to that hand to enjoy the long heart. So at this stage, they go straight into clubs. And here, they're missing the ace and the jack. I'm a little bit surprised, but they played a club towards the queen rather than the 10. If they put in the 10 and just finesse the jack, they would still be making this contract, but they misguessed the clubs. The trump got drawn, and now they just needed to hope that the jack of clubs fell. So I wasn't sure if I could spot a good reason for why they would want to not play a club towards the 10. They know the south hand's got, some longer trumps. The south hand hasn't done any bidding. I can't see a clear reason why they wouldn't be playing a club towards the 10, but they obviously had some reason that they thought club to the queen was better, but unfortunately went down there. Okay, the next board I wanted to look at here in this auction went pass, pass, and south opens a strong club. And then 1 diamond's negative here. West opted not to bid immediately over the strong club. It's worth noting here. So this West passed first up. And then after a heart, they came in and bid 2 diamonds. East didn't feel that much pressure to jump that high because partner didn't bid diamonds immediately. At the other table, it went pass, pass, 1 heart natural, and they opted to bid 2 diamonds. And with the heart support, East was thinking, okay, if the opponents are bidding 4 hearts, I want to sacrifice in 5 diamonds. I'm going to do that immediately and take away space, give them a problem about whether they want to bid on or not. But here the points are relatively evenly split. So it's actually north-south aren't going to be bidding to 4 hearts, but East had great diamond support, so they thought 5 diamonds was a solid choice. But 5 diamonds goes down, you're losing a heart and you can lose 2 spades. Here they lead a heart to the king and they switch to a spade. West wins, and their only real hope is that North underled the ace of hearts. So they drew trumps and then just took a roughing finesse, which lost. And now North-South get 2 spades, so they actually go down 2. They could have got out for down 1. But they took hope that they could make. Here at the other table, because they passed, there wasn't the pressure that they needed to jump to 5 diamonds. They weren't sure that they want to sacrifice on this hand. And also it gave time for North-South to sort of say that they're not that super keen, like North shown a negative first and then just bid 2 hearts. So here, after the heart lead, they've just got 10 easy tricks after the spade switch, so they just draw trumps and claim 10. So swing back to Hungary there. All up, USA 1 had a very solid win, which was great for them to consolidate their place in the top 8. Let's look at all the results from round number 20. So USA 1, Hungary, big result here for USA 1, propping them up to 5th and sort of consolidating that spot. And Hungary's now in this dicey position with Norway as well. Who's going to hang on for the top 8 spots there? Here, with the England-Israel result, there was actually an absolute tie. This is a decent result for England, who is now feeling relatively safe with just 3 matches to go. Israel they wouldn't be sad about it, but it didn't help them close the gap. This was a really dicey match for them. So taking a draw out of it's okay, but Israel is running out of time. But, there's not that many VPs between, even 7th spot for them. Also, the Norway versus China Hong Kong. Norway had a very solid win here. So keeping the pressure up there and not letting go there. Denmark having a win over Italy. That's good for them, just keeping in this. Australia having a small loss to Bulgaria. So here, all the results really needed to go their way to keep in it. So Australia almost out of it, I would say. This is very difficult for them to catch up this deficit with 1 day to go. But it'll be really interesting to see who are our top 8 finalists going into the knockouts. We'll find out tomorrow. Let's check out all the results from the other sections. So in the Venice Cup, Poland is surging ahead. They are showing some absolute dominance here. They're 33 VPs clear of 2nd. Who's another 30-ish imps clear of 3rd? This is absolutely massive. England's doing really strong. USA 2, and then rounding out the top 8 is Denmark, Sweden, Italy, Turkey, and Norway. And for the race for 8th, France is really quite in it. Canada and Scotland still with a chance if they surge well tomorrow. In the seniors, USA 1 very strong here, and Denmark 2nd, Poland 3rd. Rounding out the top 8 is France, India, Sweden, England, and USA 2. In the race for 8th, Bulgaria and Iceland still in it. You could see Canada catching up as well. Maybe Turkey. There's a solid gap there, but those teams are still in it. In the Wuhan Cup, the mixed teams, France very far ahead with 20-ish VPs. USA 1 in 2nd, Romania 3rd, Italy, Poland, Belgium, Germany, and Latvia rounding out in the top 8. Australia, Denmark, and the Netherlands still comfortably in that hunt for 8th spot there. So they're the teams to look out for, and let's see who makes the knockouts. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.